Good morning. I'd like to call to order the May 21st, 2025 UCIDA meeting. It is 9:03 a.m. Can we please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A quick roll call. Michael Ham, present. Rachel Silverman is absent with notice. Stephen Kelly? Present. Joseph Ferraro? Is he running late?
He might be, yeah.
Okay. Randall Leverett. We received correspondence last night at midnight at 11:30 that Randall would not be in attendance. Trevor Kerwin? Present. And Costewell? Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. The mission statement of the UCIDA is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-time economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonding, and other assistance to foster creation and attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing business. In front of you, you'll have the minutes from April 16th, 2025 regular board meeting, which is on page 3. I ask that you review, and then I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Public comment, agenda items only? No public comment? Okay. Executive session, unnecessary, council? No. The chair's report. So we're moving ahead well with several projects that are have come to us. I'm going to let the executive director go into better detail on some of this stuff. We are still entertaining different people coming, businesses coming to the IDA, and as they move forward, we're asking them for formal applications. But I don't want to steal the thunder from the ED. She always has a good report. So, Hillary?
Thanks, Chair. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you to everyone. So for all of our new members and for our returning members, we hit the 1-year mark of kind of this board as is. And I wanted to really give my deep appreciation to everyone, and I appreciate everyone's time, your feedback, ideas, trying to turn the thoughts that you have into kind of some tangible realities. I really wouldn't be able to do that without your support and insight. So with that said, I wanted to start by giving everyone an update. We have our event. You should have all gotten an email with the flyer on June 5th. Very exciting. We've kind of outlaid who our guest speakers will be, and we think it's going to be a wonderful event. So just so you know, our total cost for the project came in a little over the $7,000, only because we're using their audiovisual like preferred vendor, I guess I'd call it, which I had a little under budget what their actual costs were. But either way, we raised $3,000 in sponsorship, so our total to the IDA CRC is still falling under that original $5,000 that I had projected that we'd be spending. One of the things, and Chris, you can just kind of nod either way, is in talking to our CFO, in order for us to kind of raise the sponsorship funds, we're doing this in partnership with the CRC. So we would like to split the cost. Normally we have a 10% reimbursement from the CRC to the IDA, but we'd like to split the cost of the event evenly between the IDA and the CRC. So I'm not sure if I need a motion to do that, since it's not typical way that we follow. Doesn't need a motion. Okay, wonderful. So just so you know, we plan to split the cost evenly between the IDA and CRC for the event. Moving on, I want to talk about projects. We have several new projects that are kind of in the pipeline, making their way right now through local planning boards, the seeker, assessor's office, but I still feel pretty confident, given everything that's going on. We'll still see another project or two likely before the end of the year, which is great news for the county, and just really a reflection of all the hard work of the board to move our mission forward. That being said, I just wanted to let people know that I have done and continue to do a ton of research on things that are happening in the economic development sphere, whether it's about housing issues, the environment. So as these projects kind of come before you, when you're reviewing these board packets, if there is information that you would like to kind of look at this project within the scope of like maybe the larger picture of how it fits into what's going on, please just let me know. I mean, I just have files on files, or even just a phone call. I'd be happy to chat. I want everyone to know that that resource is available as projects come before you. And then I just wanted to kind of end by talking about where we are with our community outreach. So in addition to our upcoming events, we've this month been out and about at events through the Chamber of Commerce, always put on wonderful kind of great opportunities to get involved in economic development. I was at a brownfield conference. I know everything there is to know right now about brownfields. So if you ask me within the next week, I'll probably still remember, but after that, no, I'm kidding. Brownfield program, great program. I'm happy to share any of that information as we move forward. We attended a housing summit that was recently put on. Again, I have some updated information on kind of the state of housing here in Ulster County that I'd be happy to share. I went to a Pattern for Progress, really about municipal leaders kind of doing public-private partnerships and how does that work on a small municipality that may not have funding to write grants and things like that. So another helpful tool. I was honored to be able to speak after our chair at our recent comptroller's event. So the comptroller did a report on the city of Kingston. I was able to score some great, info booklets on that report. So please feel free to take one, and was very honored along with our chair to be able to speak at that event on behalf of the IDA. And then I'm leaving this meeting and looking forward to the annual New York State EDC conference, and I anticipate bringing back some great information from that event. Any questions? All right, moving on.
No, great job, Hillary. And just so everybody on this board knows that Hillary goes above and beyond, to get us clients and bring them in. We're not waiting around. We are going out and we're turning over every rock and seeing what municipalities could use our help. And Hillary's constantly involved with everybody. So we're in good hands there. Okay, thank you, Hillary, for that. Okay, so we'll go to committee reports. We'll start with audit. Steve?
And on page 9, the Loki Drill report is there. It shows that there was 98.25 average compliance, and there were 98.40 total project compliance. This is for the New Paltz Way Hotel, which is the only one we have reports on this month, and the detail of that is on the second page, page 10.
Okay.
And I just follow up very quickly from the governance committee meeting where we were talking about signage. I did reach out to Kevin, and he will be bringing signage down when he does the site visit in May. So we should have IDA signage out on the site by the end of May.
Yeah, so the signage, just so everybody knows, that was part of the conditions on
Yeah.
us being partners with you. We posted up there. Everybody else is on a fence all the way across the whole job site except for us. So we said we'd like to be on there too, It's always nice getting a little recognition here for all the hard work that everybody does on this board.
We should be rolling it right facing the main street there.
Yeah.
Instead of back on the fence.
No, we're not going to be in the back, Steve. Yeah, we knew. I already told them straight out, No, they're all good. They know.
That back fence, nobody's going to see that.
Yeah, that's it. Park behind the bus. Yeah. All right, Steve, thanks. Finance, do you want to?
Let me just give a summary.
Yeah, let's do a little
Sure.
quick summary, even though Rachel's not here.
Rachel's not here, but we did have a communication with our chair of finance. We had rolled, if you remember, our CDs. They will be coming due in July. So we'll be based on the conversation with the chair, looking to likely roll those over based on what the rates would be. But I think given the fact that we've had projects down the pipeline and everyone here is a member of the audit committee, I know October will be here, I swear, before we all realize it. We are hoping, Chris will update you on some of our pending projects. So we may want to think about, our investment strategy for the 2025-2026 budget year. And that's really where our conversation is at that point.
Yeah.
And
Currently, we put it into a short term, a 6 month.
yeah.
So, like Hillary said, that's coming to fruition. So, M&T did us a good job here with the best return that we could get at the time. We're going to put it back out there again.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to consider as an entire board is whether or not we want to continue on the 6 month avenue, or if we want to look into something a little bit longer on it. So we'll have a full board discussion on that as we move ahead, and once Rachel's back to have a meeting. Okay.
You said it's coming due in October?
No, in July.
Oh, in July.
The
July.
CD is in July, but our budget is in October, and we're hoping that we will have some project fees for the next year. So kind of thinking about our investments, additional fees that we're getting, our budget coming out. You guys are all, I would say, extremely bright when it comes to this kind of stuff. And so kind of get your wheels turning in your head with some ideas, because we're looking to have a finance committee meeting where we'll be discussing these things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What percentage of our total fund do we put CD?
So I think right now, and I'm just ballparking, we probably have about a third of the IDA's cash and CDs, and we probably about have half of the CRC's cash and CDs. That's where we're at. So maybe the CRC actually might be a little more than half.
Joe, we can get you Hillary can get that together if you want.
Yeah, I just email.
Yeah.
I just was curious.
No. You know what it is? It's a good question. It's a real good question.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I could get it from Mark
Yeah.
in like a
We
half
should get
a
it out to
second.
everybody.
So.
Yeah.
The question is operating costs versus the cash.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a tough market out there.
Yeah, no,
We're all
absolutely.
doing the same thing. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
We're all trying to guess what Wall Street's going to do in 6 months.
Yeah.
When you know,
Good
you
luck.
know.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We got the better shot of figuring out
Yeah.
the lottery numbers. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can get that and get it over to you before the finance committee meeting, so you guys can have a look at it. We have it. It's easily available from our accountants.
Okay, great. Thank you, Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Costume governance?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll keep it short. We had a good governance meeting. The main discussions were, one of the discussions was around administrative costs and late fees, which was resolved pretty quickly with all the board members, or all the members who were in attendance. There were two other important aspects. One I'll bring up when we have all the board members in presence as well, because it relates to retraining, which we have to do because we don't know, but one board member did not submit a completed or fully completed evaluation form. So we had discussed it and we heard back from ABO on that. We have not been penalized, but it does not look good for all the board members, and also adds to the training time the rest of the board members have to spend when they did finish the evaluation forms. But I'll bring it up when everybody's in attendance, such that it's clear. Because of that, we will have to have a short training session, maybe a handout. We'll decide the modality of that. The other important thing that we should discuss is governance recommendation is that currently we have a background check policy. That is UCIDA's responsibility. We looked, none of the other, at least most of the other UCIDAs do not have such policy in place that the IDA is responsible for, which brings responsibility and liability to us, and also it's onerous. So from that standpoint, our recommendation is that we don't need it. Also, I believe it's a good risk mitigation policy as well, such that risk is not borne by us as the entity. So I'll put it up front to everybody. It's a resolution, or it's just a policy. I don't remember. It's not a
I had
resolution,
asked
right?
Shannon. She said we didn't need a resolution for it.
Okay, good.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
I
you're not.
agree with, you sound like a lawyer, by the way, mitigation.
Great. Great.
Fair enough. So our IDA clients, which are numerous, none of the other IDAs have a background check policy. I agree with you that it's onerous. Also, remember in your application for project applicants, in section 2, it says list who your officers are. Do any of these people, have they ever been charged with a crime? Have they ever been convicted with a crime? So you're already fleshing that out. And to me, putting the IDA in the spot of having to find someone to do a background check on top of that is onerous. And I look at it, it's just another thing to trip up on from an IEBO perspective. Oh, you got a policy, are you following the policy? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So I'm just your lawyer, but I completely agree that it's something that I would eliminate.
Resolution to strike that policy.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll just step back to it. It is onerous because, just to keep in mind, we do detailed due diligence.
It was. It was.
It was. We still perform extensive due diligence on all the projects, and Hillary leads it. So we vet the potential clients very thoroughly. So we're comfortable in our actions.
And I agree with what you're saying, and counsel, they go through, the application process pretty much flushes everybody out. So, we are taking the risk on going into that.
So that can be taken off the website.
That's because, again, the policy also lacked a lot of clarity for us to implement it, and there was information in the policy saying that we were planning on changing it, which also made it, but we couldn't figure out where people were trying to go when they did that. And consulting with Chris, it looked as though no other IDA had a policy. I did a search on the internet too for one and couldn't find it, and it felt like we were kind of standing alone on this. So.
And there was one last point I'll quickly mention. We also reviewed the Sustainable Job Task Force current presentation, if you may.
Yeah.
And we'll move forward in the next few coming months at least and figure out where we end up with that. But it was very extensive, very good, a lot of good knowledge as Hillary shared. I think that was kind of all I had, Chair.
Yeah, that was a great report there on that. Great job, Trevor, you and Hillary. And, it was pretty damn educational, so,
It was very detailed.
It was very good. Has everybody had a chance to see that, to review that? Did we get it out?
I mean, it went out in the governance packet.
Yeah, maybe we should send that out individually.
I can send it out separately, just because it may have gotten lost in the
I think that'd be a great idea. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of good information. Okay, moving on to is that it, Chair?
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving on to old business. Chris Canada, come on down.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So page 14 of your materials, any transactional list. Presto, no changes that I'm aware of on that one.
I did follow up recently with them, and they said there's been no change at the Office of Cannabis Management. So.
New Paltz Way, so that one closed. The project applicant is getting their permanent financing for the project. So there's a mortgage and a mortgage tax exemption. They're seeking a mortgage tax exemption to the IDA. No additional approval is required for that. The approving resolution that we did for that project is set. We'll have Mike sign a few documents after the meeting. Marlboro project, which is a great one coming down the pike. Draft documents will be distributed later this week. But I wanted to point out that, and Hillary's aware of this, they contacted me. They want to close on their mortgage and the deal with the IDA in the fall simultaneously. So that's a little bit of a delay in terms of the project applicant going forward, the IDA getting its fee, but that's kind of normal for a project of this size and scope. Okay. On the enforcement list, it's just the Kingstonian. We're wrapping up the modification documents. I'll circle with Shannon and get those done.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. And anybody have any questions? Okay. Any new business? Yes. Chris?
Yeah, so you'll recall from the last meeting, this relates to the Landmark project. They're going from a Fannie Mae loan to a Freddie Mac loan. So some of the documents they wanted us to sign because it's a new mortgage with Freddie Mac is a new mortgage. We requested certain language be inserted into that mortgage. We've gone back and forth. I'm comfortable that they've provided our magic language to protect us. The other document they initially wanted us to sign was a subordination agreement, and that related to the pilot mortgage. This deal had a pilot mortgage, which is a little unusual. That is put into place so the tax jurisdictions have essentially a tax lien to get paid their pilot payments. Okay, it's a little unusual. We did that. We typically do it for a larger project, sometimes a controversial project. So we fought back on that because we didn't want to support any of the IDA's interests to Freddie Mac. They resisted, but they ultimately granted. The only document now is a pilot mortgage amendment, which only basically subs out the words Fannie Mae for Freddie Mac in the document. The only thing I wanted to point out is on that amendment to the pilot mortgage, the IDA is a signature, and also the county is going to sign on behalf of the other tax jurisdictions. I had a phone call with the county attorney, borrowers council. That's a little up in the air. They were asking me who's going to sponsor the resolution at the county ledge, and I said
I spoke
represent
to
the
them.
IDA, so you might have some color on it.
Yeah, I spoke with them, and basically, because it's in some ways an administrative resolution, they have a process for assigning sponsors to things like this. And so Jay and Victoria, who's the clerk and the deputy clerk, were going to circle back to us about how that process will go.
The only thing I wanted to point out on that was the county in this amendment is signing for itself and the other tax jurisdictions. And I don't know if the county has reached out to the other tax jurisdictions to say, hey, are you okay with this? Do we have your consent? Borrower's kind of just acting like this should just happen. It's a layup, their counsel, and it's not. So pushing back a little on that.
So are we premature and moving ahead with this?
No.
We're okay.
No, we're good on this.
And
We
I
have
can
no
walk
issues with
next
the idea.
door today.
But it was funny on the phone with the county attorney, the borrowers council asked us, so can we get this done? Can we get it signed, the resolution? The meeting's next week of the county ledge, and they started laughing at him. You know, they said, no, it's got to go to committee, it's got to go to this, it's got to go to that. This is
Three levels of committee.
Yeah, this is county government, it's not private. So it looks like they're going to possibly have a resolution in June, maybe July.
I had spoken to her, and I was under the impression that it could get to its next landing spot for the June meeting. But again, I haven't heard back yet about who will sponsor it and what specific documents they need from us, but I can stop in after the meeting.
And I reached out to the county attorney and said it was about the tax jurisdiction.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, the IDA documents are ready to go.
Yeah.
So there's a resolution in front of you to consent to entering into those resolutions, entering into those amendment documents. Correct.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to go through with a roll call?
We should.
Yeah, we should. Take a roll call vote. So this is on the resolution consenting to refinance landmark preservation LP project. Michael Ham, yes. Trevor Kerwin,
Yes.
Steve Kelly,
Yes.
Costa-Wall,
Yes.
Joe Ferrero. Yes. Okay, thank you. Oh, and just for the record, let it note that that Joe was just a minute late, okay? But Joe is at the meeting, okay?
Oh, we will, don't
Yeah.
worry.
I just want to make sure it's on
We
the
don't
record.
put a minute
okay?
late, we just put
Yeah.
the time he entered.
I just want to make
Somebody
sure.
dropped their coffee in the elevator.
Oh. Clean up in aisle 5.
Luckily, there was a county maintenance person on the elevator with us, so she cleaned it.
Oh, wow.
Quietly.
Okay.
I'm never bringing coffee to the meeting.
Is that it, council?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Move right into the CRC meeting.
Yep.
Unless anybody needs time? No? Okay, let's call to order the UCCRC. It is 9:27. Roll call, Michael Ham. Rachel Silverman is absent with notice. Trevor Kerwin.
Present.
Steve Kelly.
Present.
Joseph Ferrero.
Present.
Costa-Wall.
Present.
And Randall Laverette is absent. Okay, so The mission statement of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for nonprofit institutions. Is there any public comment? No? Okay. No executive session is necessary. Let the chair's report reflect the report that I've given to the IDA. Oh, I forgot the minutes. I apologize. In front of you guys, you'll have the April 16th regular meeting minutes. Please review, and I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes from that meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Hillary. Once again, let the chair's report reflect the report I've given to the UCIDA. ED's report?
Same, let the ED's report reflect the UCIDA's report.
Committee reports, audit? No report. Finance? No report. Governance?
One quick thing in addition to what we discussed.
Mhm.
At the last governance meeting, we discussed potential upcoming discussion on a bridge loan facility, if you may. I'm using the term facility, using the term very loosely. Essentially what it would be, if we do agree on it and find out that that is productive for the community, is a potential bridge facility that would allow funding for approved not-for-profit organizations, let's say in this instance, to have cash availability until they receive the grant funding, for example. So we are looking into it. We haven't finalized or even thought through fully. We'll work with the executive director's office and think about what it could look like. And then once we review with the governance, we'll bring it to the full board. I won't advertise this right now, so that's all, Chair.
Perfect. Thank you, Costume. Is there any old business? Any old business? Is there any new business? Any new business? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.